home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me, yes, they tell me, oh, that cloudy day. Oh, tell me of the home where my loved ones gone. Oh, oh, they tell me of the land, bright and fair, so far away, where love, tree of life, shed its fragrance through the air. Oh, they tell me of that autumn. I'm telling the world. Oh, they tell me of where my loved one's gone. I'm gonna tell you. Oh, they tell me of the land, bright and fair, so far away, where tree of life sheds its fragrance through the air.
Oh, somebody tell him thank you. Sing choir.
And they tell me, yes, they do. That is the water. my all in all.
Everything I need.
And they tell me,
Yeah, they tell me.
if you live
They
right,
tell me.
my eyes shall be always free. Come and go with me. Will you go with me? Will you go with me? Oh,
Good morning. This is Pastor Moody Collier of the More Like Christ Christian Fellowship Church, located at 8201 South Dobson Avenue in Chicago, Illinois, 60619, bringing you your words of inspiration, invitation, and prayer from the altar. Today I want to talk to you on the subject, building a solid foundation. Our scriptures can be found in Matthew the 7th chapter, verses 24 through 27. I wonder if any of you sitting around the altar today has ever been given instructions by somebody on how to do something and you didn't do what the person told you to do. I know that there's nothing wrong with your ears. You heard the advice that was given to you perfectly. You even understood what it was that you were supposed to do. The real problem was with your will. You didn't do what you heard to do. Many people won't read the Bible. They will say that it's because it isn't interesting to them, and yet that can't be the case because they will gladly give themselves over to a multitude of other things that are far less interesting than words spoken to them by the God of the universe. Other people will say that they don't read the Bible because it's too hard to understand. And yet this can't be true either because the same people will spend many hours studying complicated instruction manuals on how to operate sophisticated computer software. Some others say, I can't read the Bible because I don't have time, and yet they have lots of time for other things in their lives that are far less important. I've come to the conclusion that the real reason people who know that they should read their Bible won't do so is because it's too dangerous a thing to read. It's dangerous because it demands that you do something about what you read. You have to obey it and to apply it to your lives. And the truth presented to us in God's Word must be read, put into practice, and acted upon. James said, be ye doers of the word, and not just hearing only, deceiving your own selves. See, the word, therefore, that opens our text points our attention back to all that Jesus had said in the Sermon on the Mount. It marks off what he was about to say as his concluding remarks to all that he had just finished saying. He did not speak the words he spoke in order to give us pretty sayings and quotes to be admired. He didn't see that we needed some nice words to hang on our office doors and print on our coffee mugs. He meant for those words to be translated into action. Once we hear these words, we make ourselves into fools if we do not do what they say. In these closing words, Jesus presented us with an analogy. He used the picture of two men building two houses as a way of teaching us the importance of putting his words into practice. He spoke of the danger of hearing without doing, and it becomes a very serious matter. Let's look at these two men and notice first the similarities. Now, the two men were both engaged in the same activity. They were both building houses. We are told of no difference between the houses that they were building. They may have even looked exactly alike, and we are not told of anything different about the abilities of these two men to build their houses. They may have both been excellent craftsmen as far as their work on the superstructure of the houses goes, as far as we know. And it even appears that they built their houses in the same sort of locations. Apparently the same kind of natural forces struck the two houses. These two builders are symbolic of two kinds of people. The thing that they had in common was that both of them hear Jesus teaching in the Sermon on the Mount. Both of them heard exactly the same words from exactly the same Lord. When I think of these two similarities, I can't help but think of the similarities there are between those who are truly Christians and those who are Christians in name only. Sometimes it's hard to tell them apart. They both go to church. They both hear the same sermons or attend the same Bible classes, and often they both study and read the Bible on their own. They bow their heads at the same prayers. They even say prayers in much the same way. They talk the same kind of talk. They profess the same kinds of doctrine. And what's more, as we learn from Jesus' words in verses 21 through 23, they may have both professed the same Lord. Not everyone that says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father. See, there are many similarities between the false Christian and the true one. Both of the houses that they were building look the same. But this points our attention to the second fact, which is the difference, which is not readily seen, but is there, and it is profound. The difference is found in what the houses are resting on. That's not something that you can necessarily see just by looking at the house on a superficial level. By all outward appearances, the houses may look the same, but that's because you can't see the foundation of a house just by looking. Laying a foundation is unlike any other house building task. When it comes to other duties, like painting the walls and carpeting the floors, shingling the roof, or installing the windows, a person can see and appreciate the results right away. And most people like doing jobs like this because it gives them a sense of accomplishment. When they finish the task, they can sit back, look at it, and appreciate a job well done. However, a foundation doesn't bring a quick sense of satisfaction. It is not until much later, when the rest of the house is actually resting on and relying upon that painstakingly laid foundation, that a builder can appreciate the time and effort he spent putting in it. See, foundations don't get the appreciation they deserve. They are mostly underground. Most people rarely see them or even know that they are there. That is quite different from any other part of the house. For instance, imagine if a builder were to ask someone if he wanted a roof on his house or not. Can you imagine the looks that builder would get? Are you crazy? The customer might say, of course I want a roof. Ask the same person if he wanted a foundation, and the response might be, the foundation? Well, that's down there with the basement and stuff, right? Well, I guess I need one of those. Sure, put it in. While everyone understands the significance of roofs, few understand the importance of foundation. Without a foundation, my brothers and sisters, a house cannot stand. And since the foundation is seldom seen, few people stop to think about this. And as it turns out, the wise man's house was founded on solid rock, while the foolish man's house was founded on sand. Now here we come again to two kinds of people with respect to Jesus' teaching. Both men heard Jesus' words, and on the superficial level, the differences between them couldn't be readily seen. But on their closer examination, one man heard what Jesus said and then did what Jesus said, while the other man heard what Jesus said and didn't do what Jesus said. Both men acted from out of their own will based on what they heard, but one chose to take action and the other chose not to. See, the wise man who did what Jesus said had built his life on a good solid foundation, while the foolish man built his life on that which wouldn't endure. I wonder why it is that someone would be so foolish as to ignore the need for a good foundation when building a house. I can suggest several reasons. One might be because they are only concerned to get a house up for appearance's sake that lasts only for a short term. I think this might be why many merely professing Christians have built their lives without the foundation of obedience to Jesus' word. They go to the places that a Christian goes, and they say the things that a Christian says, and they read the things that a Christian reads, but they are simply after appearances. They don't seem to really be followers of Jesus, because that requires doing what Jesus said. They just want to look like followers of Christ without being concerned with whether or not they are really followers of him. Another reason someone might ignore the need of a good foundation is because they are in too much of a hurry to build. Foundations take time, my brothers and sisters, and they take a lot of hard work. They don't seem important until later on, when we see how much of their current tax actually rely on the foundation we have already laid. People feel the pressing need to get a house up quickly, and similarly, many people are hoping for Christianity to be a quick fix. They aren't concerned about the long-term commitment of being a disciple so much as they are about getting certain problems in life taken care of in a hurry. They don't realize that a true Christian faith is something that shows it's been